Hi guys, my name's Scott Parry. I'm the founder of Crown Money, and this month I want to run through some of the tips, techniques, and strategies which we can implement to help you and your family own your home faster. So let's talk about the general landscape. The RBA just left rates unchanged this week. Now, everyone's obviously hoping for a rate reduction. That would be great. They're saying that due to the increase in inflation, that they're not too keen to be dropping rates. That means that they look at holding them for the foreseeable future. What that really means to us, no real change. We're going to continue to aggressively attack the principal, getting every single dollar you have earned working for you on your mortgage and paying down that bad debt as fast as we possibly can. In terms of that, I also sort of see that there could be a case for a rate reduction over the coming 6 to 12 months, specifically in 2026. The reason for that is if inflation's increasing, which is at the moment, that's based on the current employment levels. Now, if unemployment levels rise, which we see happening over the years ahead, those unemployment rates starting to rise means that people's borrowing and ability to repay loans is jeopardized. And so thereby we feel that there will be an opportunity for a rate reduction or two over the coming 12 months due to the rising unemployment. In terms of property prices, they're pretty positive for all states around Australia. Melbourne certainly starting to find some legs and bounce back. Adelaide's steaming ahead, and Perth is doing what it's been doing for the last few years, which is crushing. So we feel that property prices continue to slightly grow, certainly no double-digit growth over the next 12 months. But as those unemployment numbers rise, that should start to cool down the property growth and thereby help with the dropping of the rate. So that's the finance landscape for the way we are seeing it at this point in time. Now, we want to talk to you about a success story. You guys all know our club champions, which happen every month. So one of the stories we did was a guy called Jarrod Crosby, a client of ours for 12 months. One of the crazy stories here is the sort of anxiousness of the family situation. When we first sat down with them, there was a huge amount of financial stress. They even thought they may have to move out of their house and rent it out because they weren't able to hold the payments and the cash flow. And so we set up the home ownership plan for them. They're in a position where I think before they met us, they were paying about 27,000 a year off their mortgage. Not bad, not bad compared to the average Australian doing 10,000. In the first 12 months on this home ownership plan, same income, same loan amount, they've gone from doing $27,000 with their old bank and structure to doing over $70,000 in debt reduction in 12 months. And so now they've got $70,000 in savings. Family's a lot happier, obviously no financial stress. They got buffers in place. And if there's anything that you should be focused on, it's creating buffers and emergency funds. And so what that does, it gives you a bit of a safety net. So if anything was to happen, any emergencies per se, you got sick or injured or lost your job, you've got that emergency fund to save you and basically pay for your loan repayments and your living expenses until you can get back into work at a later date there.
We paid off 27,000 off the principal. But this year on Crown, we've paid off 67. I reckon we had about 5 to 8 grand if we were lucky in savings at the time. And we're now close to 80 grand in 1 year. So that's extraordinary. Interest saved that we look across the journey that we're looking at is probably 16 years plus $709,000.
Jeez. 16 years and no mortgage repayment to date there. So congrats, Jarrod. On track to save $700,000 in interest and pays home loan off in half the time that he was tracking with the previous bank plan. So congrats, Jarrod and Christelle. Now, I wanted to talk to you guys about a little savings tip, which can put up to $1,100 back into your bank account. And so I'm not too sure if many of you are aware of this. Certainly doesn't apply to everyone. But if you are a parent and you are driving your kids to school, based on how far that school is from your home, the government actually is able to pay you a subsidy for driving your kids to school. Now, every state's different. I'm going to send you all the links for your state. Now, some states, as we know, will only do it for rural areas or regional areas such as Victoria. Queensland, for example, if you live more than 3.2 kilometres from the school, the government pays you a subsidy to take your kid to school every single year. So we just did that, got a nice chunk back from the government. Always good to get some money back after all the tax we do pay. So if you are driving your kids to school and you do live more than a few kilometers based on your state, then you may be eligible for up to $1,100 a year in subsidy payments there. So that's just a nice little hack. I know no one knows about and no one's advertising because it just costs the government money, but it is certainly a nice little win if you can get it. For what we see future-wise, 2026, we see unemployment starting to climb, especially towards the end of next year. And what that's going to do is certainly slow things down. If people don't have jobs, they don't and cannot pay mortgage repayments. And so that's what we were saying earlier. Very important to build your buffer now, whilst you can, whilst you've got no emergencies on the horizon. We always want to make sure that you've got 3 months, ideally 6 months worth of loan repayments and living expenses stashed away. If you guys are in a position where you're wanting to look at what the future holds, i.e., borrowing capacity wise, please reach out to us. We'll run a full borrowing capacity for you, to exactly what the banks will lend you based on your current income and equity position, map out what that looks like. And then if you are wanting to look to grow your portfolio, set up the kids, also happy to help point you in the right direction there as well. So that's all from us. Thank you again for choosing to do business with us. We're super excited to see your debt evaporate over the years ahead. And we're just lucky enough where every 28 days we are able to sit with one of you and say, congratulations, you are free from mortgage prison and you no longer have a mortgage repayment for the rest of your life. So can't wait for that day to come where we sit with you and give you the good news of mortgage freedom. Thanks again, and we'll see you next month.